sports.
We are Buffalo. We are Minnesota.
It's the start of a week-and-a-half-long homestand for the Minnesota Twins as they hope to climb out of the basement in the American League Central. And the good news is the teams that will be making up the opponents in this homestand are all within the American League Central, where the Twins have played decently. Not great, but okay. A win tonight, and they'll be playing .500 within the division. And we welcome you to Target Field on a beautiful fall Friday night. Dick Raymer, Bert Blyleven for the opening game of this four-game series with the Cleveland Indians. And incredibly, as we go through the final month of the season, there's not one starting pitcher in September that was in the rotation in the first month of the season.
But there are a lot of guys here in the month of September that are almost auditioning for that start so they can be part of the rotation in April of 2013. Tonight's starter, Liam Hendriks, making his 16th career start and his 12th this season, still looking for his first major league win. Now, a couple starts ago here in Minnesota, he was hooked up against King Felix Hernandez, and Hernandez beat him 1-0. The Twins want to see more out of Hendriks in that outing than they saw in his last outing when he had a big lead and couldn't hold on to it.
So the Twins are hoping Hendriks can find something here in the month of September. One thing they're convinced of, that September is a really good month for Chris Parmelee.
Well, Parmelee last year came up and had a great month of September, and he got called up on August 29th, and he who hit outstanding in AAA has carried it right here to the major league level. So far in 8 ball games, 3 home runs. He's driven in 8 runs. That's the biggest thing for this Twins offense. Score some runs, and hopefully early.
The Twins hope to pick up some wins in this 4-game series with Cleveland, but the highlight of the weekend will come tomorrow night when Tom Kelly has his number retired, and we'll be talking about that all weekend long. Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
Home sweet home for the Twins as they kick off a 4-game set against the Cleveland Indians tonight here on Fox Sports North. I'm Robbie and Smikowski. Well, tomorrow night's going to be a very special night here at the ballpark in downtown Minneapolis. And if you get a chance, you really should make your way down here as Tom Kelly's jersey number 10 will become the 7th number to be retired here, in which should be a very memorable night. The weekend series against the Indians is presented by the South Dakota Department of Tourism. Also, with the inspiration of TK's famous line about grabbing an oar as we are all in this boat together. The first 10,000 fans get a mini oar with TK's number 10 on it. Call 833-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com for ticket details about tomorrow. And manager Ron Gardenhire earlier discussed TK, his mentor, and getting his jersey retired.
This is a big deal. It is a big deal. He kind of looks at it, well, but this is a big deal. When somebody retires your number, and it's huge and well-deserved. So it'll be entertaining. TK always is entertaining. So he'll do what he always does. Once he gets up on the stage, he'll handle it. He always has.
And many of you are Twins fans out there, have been Twins fans for a very long time. And if you get a chance to come to the ballpark tomorrow, make sure you witness a little bit of Minnesota Twins history, as that number 10 has a black sleeve over it right now. But tomorrow it's going to be revealed forever. First pitch coming up next.
For the Twins, out of the playoff mix, Minnesota's on the hunt for the talent of the future. September auditions will help decide which players will call Twins territory home next season. There have already been some shining stars, but who will make the most of their opportunity? Find out next in Game 1 between the Twins and the Indians. And Liam Hendriks will try yet again to pick up his first major league win tonight in the opening game of a 4-game series with Cleveland, a 10-game homestand against Cleveland, Kansas City, and Chicago. The Menards batting order for Manny Acta. Shin-Soo Choo leading things off, then Jason Kipnis as Drupal Cabrera, Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley. Russ Kanzler is their designated hitter. Casey Kochman. Vinny Rotino is their left fielder. And Jack Hanahan hitting ninth and playing third base.
And Liam Hendriks on the year, you see his record 0-7 with a 6.11 ERA. Not only his 12th start this year, it's his 16th career start at the major league level. He made 4 starts last year, and one of those starts, his last start last year, came against the Cleveland Indians, where he ended up getting a no decision. The Twins won that ball game in 10 innings, 6-4. In that ball game, also Hendricks worked 6 innings. They gave up 4 runs to the Indians.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Ryan Domet in left, Ben Revere in center, Chris Parmalee in right, Trevor Plouffe, Pedro Florimon, Eduardo Escobar, Justin Morneau around the infield, and Joe Mauer behind the plate. Domet in left, Parmalee in right. The Twins trying to inject as much power into the lineup as they can. And I don't know about you, Bert, I can't think of anybody on the 29-man roster that the Twins bring into this series. I can't think of anybody that has a greater opportunity and has more to prove than Liam Hendricks.
Well, I agree. I mean, here's a guy that in AAA, he was outstanding. 9-3 in AAA with an ERA at 2.2. But, you know, he had that great start like we talked about it in the open. And then his last start, he had a big lead and then unable to hold it. And that coming against the Royals in Kansas City. In that ball game, he had an 8-2 lead, and he couldn't make it through the 5th inning. Actually, couldn't make it through the 4th inning. So we'll see how he does here tonight.
1-0 to Shin-Soo Choo. And line foul, 1-1. He's taking on an Indians team that has free fallen. Not into last place, but pretty close to it after contending for most of the first 3 months of the year. They have fallen completely apart.
Yeah, there's Manny Actor right there in his 3rd season as manager of the Cleveland Indians. Also managed the Nationals for a couple years, the Washington Nationals. Yeah, it's been frustrating in Cleveland. They, for a while, were starting to get some fans back in the stands, but they've really struggled.
Chu ahead on the count, 2-1, lines a sharp single to left. And that'll bring up Kipnis.
Well, you want to keep the ball down a little bit. Not a bad pitch, but Chu, good piece of hitting, just hitting it the other way. The leadoff hitter gets on. Chu with 17 stolen bases on the year.
Kipnis had a great first half. He struggled in the second half, and boy, up and down this Cleveland lineup, post All-Star break batting averages are pretty puny. And an off-speed pitch over for a strike.
And it's just not the offense. Also, the pitching staff has really taken a dive, too. They had some pitchers on that staff. They have expected to pitch better than they have this year.
1 strike to Kipnis. One and one.
Well, Liam Hendricks, 23 years old, last year started at low A ball, and then moved up to AA, then AAA, and then ended the season in the Twins uniform. This year, down in Rochester, very well, did pitch very well, but has struggled here.
One and one to Kipnis.
Yeah, there's the first half, second half numbers for Jason Kipnis, just 25 years old, in his 2nd season with the Indians.
After his first half, there was some thought from people on the field staff of the Indians that Kipnis could go to the All-Star game, and they thought he was going to be a cornerstone player. Hit him 3rd for a while, but then the slump came, and now he's hitting in the 2nd spot. Down and away, and it's 2-1 again.
Well, it's the 12th game between these two ball clubs, and the Twins actually are leading in the series 7-4.
The last time the Indians were here, believe it or not, they were on an emotional high. They had just beaten Justin Verlander and taken the series with Detroit 2-1 in Cleveland. And you're right, the fans were starting to get energized by this team. They were starting to come back. And people thought that the disappearing act that the Indians pulled last year would not be repeated this year. Then the Twins swept them here. There haven't been enough sweeps or wins at home, period, for the Twins. But the Twins swept them here, and the Indians have never recovered. They went on to lose 11 straight 2-2 to Kipnis. And the ball driven foul into the seats.
And we've seen this from Liam Hendriks. At times he'll get ahead in a count and he just can't put that hitter away. That pitch count getting up very quickly. 56 innings coming into this ball game, 36 strikeouts, 16 walks, but he's given up 76 hits.
Hoping for a ground ball. Called third, strike at the knees, and Kipnis is called out.
Let's take a see what the Fox track says right here. Good pitch down in the strike zone. Great pitch. Just got the corner.
The mythical black part of the plate,
That's
right?
Amen.
Here's his Drupal Cabrera. Indians starting the day 2 games ahead of the Twins. Can probably do the math. If the Twins take 3 out of 4 in this series, they'll move into a 4th place tie. And then the Twins have 3 with the Royals coming to town, 3 with the White Sox. There are the standings. The next homestand, the final homestand for the Twins, might have more national interest, but it's going to be a much tougher homestand for the Twins. So if they hope to crawl out of the basement, this is the homestand to make their move. Twins have 3 with the Yankees and 3 with the Tigers to close out the home schedule. 1-0 to Cabrera.
Cabrera, another solid year for the Indians. It's his second half down, but he made the All-Star team. Second time he's made the All-Star team for the Indians.
2-0. 12 pitches, 6 strikes, 6 balls for Hendriks.
Oh, I remember that game that he pitched against King Felix here. I mean, it was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Both pitchers went about it. They didn't take a lot of time between pitches, even in the stretch position.
Swing and a miss, 2-1.
That fastball at 90 miles an hour. Cabrera in his 6th season with the Indians, just 26 years old, from Venezuela. Originally signed by the Marlins back in 2002. Came over to the Indians in 2006.
I wonder how many players hitting third in lineups for other teams were signed by the Marlins.
Excuse me, it was the Mariners. Seattle
Mariners.
Mariners, I'm sorry. Seattle Mariners. But I'm sure there are a lot.
Whatever the list is, just take his name off it.
Right.
Well, you got Miguel Cabrera. I think Hanley Ramirez is hitting in the middle of the lineup now for the Dodgers. 2-1 to Cabrera. On the outside corner.
Cabrera earlier this year signed a 2-year extension to stay with the Indians till 2014. One of those cornerstone players for Maniacti and the Indian organization.
Just off the plate, full count. So Hendriks with 3 fastballs, 90-91, trying to hit the outside corner. He's gotten a swinging strike, a called strike, and now the full count. Pretty good bet. Chu will take off with Santana on deck. Chu goes, and it's ball 4. So Mauer thought it was a strike. He wouldn't have thrown otherwise, and he looks back at Dan Iasanya, wondering why that was not called strike 3.
Yeah, breaking ball right here that Joe, as a catcher, no matter, you have to just go ahead and do exactly what he did. Good low pitch for a strike. Instead, it becomes ball 4.
Mauer's
strikeout throw him out right there.
Instead, first and second, 1 out. Now here's Carlos Santana. Dan Iasanya is behind the plate. Another breaking pitch taken for a ball.
And we just saw Cabrera switch hitter. Here Carlos Santana, a switch hitter, hitting .236 as a left-handed hitter. 9 of his 14 home runs on the left side of the plate.
Two and 0. 18 pitches, just 8 strikes for Hendricks. Santana's actually been one of the better Cleveland hitters after a slow start the first 3 months. Not the guy you want to face with 2 men on and only 1 out. Pop foul and out of play, 2-1.
Santana's hit into 13 double plays. Hendricks has been able to get 5 double plays turned behind him. This being his 12th start.
20th pitch of the inning.
Boy, not missing by much.
Santana, like every hitter, much better average when he's ahead on the count. 3-1. And Santana looks back at Iasanya wondering why that wasn't ball 4.
Pretty good pitch.
The first half inning has absolutely no pace at all. 3-2. We'll see if the runners go here. Nope. Dumped down the line, a cracked bat into the seats. The ball will fly. 21 pitches. Anderson hoping that Liam Hendricks can throw more strikes and take less time between pitches.
Yeah, one thing baseball's trying to do is speed the game up, and Santana went all the way back to the dugout to get a bat, and then he put also some pine tar on it. Usually they have another bat ready to go.
Bat boy's supposed to run one out to him.
Right.
Shoes at second. He singled about 20 minutes ago. Pounded up the line, foul. Well, Hendricks coming off such a disappointing start because I think everyone from the manager through the pitching coach and through the roster wanted him to get his first major league win, and the Twins gave him all the run support one would think you'd need to get that first win.
Yeah, 4 runs in the first and 4 runs in the second, and they knocked out Luke Hochevar in that ball game.
Another 3-2 and another foul. It wasn't just that the Royals got a lot of hits. They did 10 of them. He only recorded 11 outs. But by the time he left the game with 2 outs in the 4th, he'd already thrown 79 pitches.
Right. With no walks, 5 strikeouts. So it wasn't like he was all over the place. Carl Pavano. He was at the airport last night when I was picking up my grandkids.
Oh, looper to left. Domit makes a nice running catch for out number 2. And that'll bring up Michael Brantley.
Well, Hendricks won the battle right there, but needed a lot of pitches to do that. He can getting the final out here off the bat of Michael Brantley.
Brantley getting a chance to play an awful lot of center field for the Indians, because again this year, this, would you call Cabrera a cornerstone player or whatever, the guy who the Indians have been counting on, Grady Sizemore, has been unable to play again this year. Breaking ball over for strike one.
Yeah, Brantley just 25 years old, coming from the Brewer organization in his 4th season with the Indians. He's part of that CC Sabathia trade.
Lifted to left, and Doman hardly has to move. A 27 pitch, scoreless, top of the first. Good homestand here in front of the home crowd. The Menards batting order has Ben Revere on top. Eduardo Escobar batting second. Then Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Doman, Chris Parmelee, Trevor Plouffe, and Pedro Florimon.
And on the mound here tonight, it'll be Genmar Gomez making his 15th start of the year, his 17th appearance, his 2nd start this season against the Twins. He got a no decision in a 5-4 win over the Twins. That back in the middle of April.
And Ben Revere will lead things off for the Twins. Strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two.
Good changeup right there. Gomez with a very good changeup. Fastball. Not overpowering, 91, 92.
One and two. Twins have beaten the Indians 7 of the last 8 games. And hoping to win this 4-game series, a wraparound series that finishes Monday night. There's a call, third strike, one away. So one down. That brings up Eduardo Escobar, making his Twins target field debut. The Northland Ford defense for Cleveland. Vinny Rottino in left, Michael Brantley in center, Shin-Soo Choo in right. An infield of Hanahan, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Kochman. Carlos Santana behind the plate. Here's the switch hitting Escobar, taking ball one. Escobar just called up to get a look as an infielder, as he started the year with the White Sox organization. Liner to Hanahan for out number 2.
Let's take a look at the GMC keys to the game. And one thing that Gomez has been able to do, first couple innings, he comes out with a charge. Very good, 1.93 earned run average in the first 2 innings. But then after that, a very high ERA. Started the season in the rotation for the Indians and then shipped down to AAA, and just recently getting recalled.
That'll bring up Mauer, who starts this homestand at .315, 6th in the American League in hitting, and 15 points behind the co-leaders now, Miguel Cabrera and Mike Trout. Cabrera has seen Trout's batting average come down a little bit. Cabrera's has been inching up. Cabrera with an outside chance of winning the Triple Crown this year. 35 home runs for the Tiger third baseman. Josh Hamilton leads the league with 39. Inside, and it's 1-1 to Mauer. Cabrera and Hamilton tied for the league lead in runs batted in with 116. Twins Josh Willingham is third. Inside again, 2-0.
They're the batting leaders right there. Cabrera and Trout tied. Mauer 6th, like you mentioned, Dick.
Beltre and Murphy are in the top 5 for the Rangers. That hits the outside corner, 2-2.
A good changeup, good location, down and away. Gomez just 24 years old in his 3rd season with the Indians.
Foul back. You know, looking at the top 10 in hitting, you've got Cabrera now co-leading, Prince Fielder right behind Mauer at .314, Austin Jackson. So they've got 3 guys in the top 10 in hitting. They've got a starting rotation that is as deep, I think, as anybody, certainly in the American League Central. Mauer is called out on strikes, and yet it's the Tigers who are chasing the White Sox for first place in the Central.
Inning and scoreless here at Target Field between the Twins and the Indians. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, the Rochester Red Wings AAA season came to a close, and it's Gene Glenn, the man who managed them to a 72-72 record this season, and he has a lot of familiarity here with the Twins as he joins the Twins for the remainder of the season. He was the first ever Mr. Basketball in Minnesota back in 1975. He played baseball and basketball as a star at Mankato State University. He also has a 7-year minor league playing career for Gene Glenn. And he led the Red Wings this year, Dick and Bird, to a 19-game improvement, which was pretty impressive in his first season as the manager of Rochester. And every player that I have spoken with that has played for Gene Glenn has nothing but the nicest things to say about this man. So it's nice for him to get to spend the final 25 games here with the big club the rest of the way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you, Robbie. You think about that. I mean, 72-72, and really, I mean, the Twins, most of his club at the beginning of the year wore Twins uniforms sometime during the summer.
Here's Russ Kanzler leading off the second for Cleveland. Strike one, now ball one. I guess I'm gratified to find that the Minnesota Mr. Basketball Award was first awarded in 1975. I was always curious why I didn't win it in 1974.
Is that why?
Well, there are a lot of other reasons, but I couldn't have won the award if it didn't exist. Actually played against a guy who probably could have won it, Frank Wachlerowicz of Little Falls. But no, that is not the reason I did not win.
I didn't think so.
Near the Twins dugout, now to play. 2-2. Well, Hendricks certainly hoping to pitch a cleaner and quicker second inning. A lot of deep counts, men on base. He's was able to tiptoe through the first inning without allowing a run scored.
Yeah, pace of how quick you are between pitches thrown home.
3-2.
That means a lot. You know what? One thing we've seen from Scott Diamond, he doesn't fool around out there. Pretty much, here it is, let's go. And he did that against Seattle.
And I think he was told between innings because he just looks like he's not straying from the rubber at all and trying to pick up the pace. He just needs to throw more strikes. There's Scott Diamond. Won't pitch in this series as the Twins have expanded their rotation to 6 starters. 3-2. And he walked him. Second walk issued by Hendrick. And that'll bring up Casey Kochman. The All-Star game at Target Field might be a couple of years off, but the next few months are important if you want to insure tickets to the festivities in July of 2014. If you're a season ticket holder and renew for next year and 2014, or purchase season tickets for next season, you'll establish priority for all Star game tickets. Best bet is to call 833-TWINS, talk to a season ticket representative about how you can be part of the season ticket family and be here in mid-July for the All-Star game in 2014. 1-0 to Casey Kochman. Kochman really struggling since the All-Star break. The average down to 228. He's hit just barely over 200 since the break. One and one.
Kochman, 29 years old. He came into the season a 268 hitter, but last year, as you look at his numbers after the break, last year he hit 306 for the Rays in 146 ball games. So the Indians were hoping that Kochman finally had found himself a guy that has spent at the major league level now with 6 different teams.
Two and one.
Kochman came up to the majors with the Angels in 2004 and spent time with the Braves, the Red Sox, the Mariners, last year with the Rays.
Fouled back, and it's 2-2. Indians, with 25 games yet to play, have a run differential of 162. They've allowed 162 more runs than they've scored. That's obviously more than a run per game.
Yeah, only the Seattle Mariners have scored less runs than the Cleveland Indians.
But Seattle's pitched anyway. It's the largest run differential in baseball. Since the Indians were here last, they fired their pitching coach, Scott Radinsky, hoping that would solve the pitching end of it. 2-2. And another foul. Liam Hendriks is about to throw. He has thrown now 40 pitches, and he's gotten 3 outs. So you have the off day, and you've got 10 games in 10 days. Bouncer to short. See if they can get two. Florimon, Escobar to Morneau. So it was worth the wait. 2 gone.
I took a little off that pitch right there. And Kochman, not the quickest down that first baseline, hit it sharply to Florimon. Good changeup. Kochman, ground ball to short. Florimon over to Escobar. And a double play. 2 quick outs. Or 2 outs. Not quick outs, just 2 outs.
2 outs. Here's Vinny Rottino. White Sox grabbed an early lead, 1-0 over the Royals. And then Francisco Liriano gave a couple back. Kansas City leading the White Sox 2-1. White Sox can't beat the Royals. See, I've got this all figured out. Okay? White Sox can't beat the Royals.
Tigers can't beat Cleveland.
The Twins beat Kansas City every time they play them. So I think in some weird way we're actually in first place. Dribbled up the line, foul. Yeah, the Indians have had their way with the Tigers. Actually coming off another one of those high points of their season after this month of August was the worst in franchise history. And then the Indians step up and take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, who are, you know, these are their playoff games
and
right now.
they had just swept the White Sox.
Yeah. Another chopper foul, and at least Hendricks is working ahead here. It's 1-2. Minor foul. The fans okay, but the Samsonite went over backwards.
We saw Joe Mauer wanted that curveball, and he threw a curveball, but he left it middle in.
Looks like one of our fantasy campers there. Isn't that Will McMacken?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, we have got an automatic $10 fine for the Kangaroo Court and Fantasy Camp for that.
Yeah, I'm the judge. That's a lot more than that.
Morneau catches the ball. Will McMacken couldn't. And Hendricks faces just 3 men in the inning. For the Twins, 1987-1991. And tomorrow, the manager of those 2 World Championship ball clubs, Tom Kelly, will have his number retired, and it's going to be a special night. And we encourage Twins fans to come out if they can, and honor the man who helped bring those 2 world championships to the upper Midwest. Josh Willingham leading off, taking ball 1.
Yeah, bring your Hankies with you tomorrow night, too. I mean, there's so many great players, former Twins, coming in for this. And believe it or not, we have one sitting in the middle of us right now.
Frank Viola with us to talk about Tom Kelly's influence on your career. Now, you had been around with some other managers, Billy Gardner, Ray Miller, and Tom came in at the end of the '86 season. And what was it about his managerial leadership that allowed things to click for you?
Well, I think I go a little further than that. I started my career, I signed with the Twins in '81 and went directly from St. John's to AA Orlando, and TK was the manager in Orlando. So the way it played out was the guy who got released for me to take his place ended up sitting in the second row of the bus, caddy corner to TK. So TK, you know how competitive that guy is. You know, every once in a while he wants to, you know, the horses, the dogs, so on and so forth. He likes playing cards. Well, guess who became his automatic card playing partner? Me. So I had to put up that. He had to put up with me, first of all, the whole second half of the year, because I was a god-awful, my whole career I was a god-awful card player, and he never lets me live that down. But I got to know him through that, and then through the AA season all the way up. And the one thing you love about Tom Kelly, it didn't matter how much time he spent in the big leagues. It was less than 100 at-bats, I believe. He was one of the few guys who was able to, if you need to get lectured and yelled at, he could do that. He respected him for it because you knew there was a reason behind it. But most importantly, was he was a type that could forget it, go on and be a friend too. And the manager being a friend is so unusual in the game of baseball that I think that's what made him so special. You could feel comfortable talking to him, saying things to him that you wouldn't normally feel with other managers that I had. So, I mean, there was a fine line there, and he knew how to draw it. And from that point on, he was very special from that point on, as far as my opinion.
You know, Frank, I think when he took over in '86, it was kind of like everybody knew what you were getting out of Tom Kelly. You know, you're getting a guy that, you know, was dedicated to the game of baseball, but also a guy that expected a lot out of everybody. And you know, I mean, that's important for a manager.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing that was great, too, is that he wasn't afraid to let you know, hey, you're not doing the job. Or, you know, everybody's got their favorites. You know, and we always tease TK that Randy Bush is one of his favorites. And Bushy, and he's here now, I can't wait, I hope he's listening, but you know, Bushy in AA was, and he's even in the big leagues, his strength wasn't defense, let's just put it that way. And it was a game in Nashville we played, and we played really poor, and Bushy was one of the reasons for it. And it just so happened. It just so happened. But after the game, you know, everybody's like, okay, TK is not going to get on anybody because Bushy was involved in it, so everything's cool. We get in the clubhouse, the spread is there, everybody's about ready to eat. TK says, nope, we're going to have a meeting. And we're like, oh, what is going on here? Next thing we know, the table is turned over, all the food, everything sprawled all over the place. And we're looking at Bushy going, you're the cause of this, you know that? He likes you. Imagine if he didn't like you. But anyway, you know, the thing that you love about TK was there's no BS to him. And I think that's the best way of putting it. You knew what, and you said it best, Bert, you knew what you were getting with him. You knew you had somebody come to the ballpark that wanted to win, and you wanted to win with him, too. And that rubs off on everybody.
Justin Morneau at the plate, 2-2 pitch coming with Willingham at first. Twins trying to score first here. That's been an issue over the last couple of weeks, 3-2.
Hey, we want to congratulate Brittany, your daughter, on her Olympics. Outstanding. What a great job she did.
Very, very proud of her. You know, I can go to my grave saying I am the father of an Olympian, and that's the coolest thing in the world to say.
Oh, it was fun to watch not only her perform.
I don't want to talk about that. We're not going to talk about me. No, we're not going to talk about me. The stinking cameras found me anywhere.
You were a little nervous, which you should have been.
When we had the ball in our hands, who was in control?
We were.
As a parent, what could we do? Absolutely nothing.
You have no control.
And it was,
bite your nails.
Oh my God. And the camera panned on me, and it always seemed to be a poor dive. And it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Because I know the camera's looking at me. Do I clap? And I thank God I had Kathy that whistling and stuff. That took a lot of the pressure off. But oh my God.
Well, congratulations. She did a great job.
It was wonderful. Thank you, Bert.
Another 3-2 to Morneau. Fouled away. I wanted to ask you talked about having Tom Kelly as a manager in the minor leagues, and people I've talked to, I've kind of gotten the impression that yes, he's a great major league manager. He might even have been a better minor league manager, if that makes any sense.
Totally. And I agree with you, because you don't become a great major league manager unless you could survive and thrive in the minor leagues. And I think that's where he learned everything. That AA team that we had that I joined after I came out of St. John's included Gary Gaetti, Tim Laudner, Randy Bush, Timmy Tuffle. We had a bunch of guys that went on to play Major League Baseball. We had a lot of talent, but we played as a talent. With the talent we have, we played with a group that didn't think about themselves first, and that's the way TK preached everything. We're a 25-man team. We're going to play as a team, and we always maintain that. And it starts in the minor leagues. If you buy it in the minor leagues, you're going to follow through and carry through in the big leagues.
Ryan Doman will hit. The pitch looked like it had plenty of the plate to Morneau, but the Twins start the second with a couple of walks. I'm glad neither one of you are pitching tonight. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, the strike zone looks it's very inconsistent so far.
In the shape of the state of Idaho, I think. Strike one.
I just got done with Savannah Sand that season in the South Atlantic League. And out of 136 games, I got tossed out officially of 2 games, but could have very easily been tossed out of others for the reason that we're just talking about.
1 strike to Doman. Parmalee will follow. Of what value do you think, either one of you, Bert, came back to the Twins in '85. Speaking of Tom Kelly, of what value was it that he was on the coaching staff before he got the managerial job here? Because that's, he was in the minor leagues, as you said, but then he was a part of the coaching staff before assuming the manager's job.
I think that meant a lot because, through the '82 season, the frustrations that the Twins went through and, learning the game. Tom Kelly kind of went through that with the minor leagues. He saw these guys. He pushed them to the big leagues, and then he became a coach. So he knew the talent that was there. It's just a matter of letting them relax and get the most out of them. And it took a little while, but, not really. From '86 to '87, boom, we won just like that.
But you also have to realize what he did in that time period. He realized what a deficiencies were, and he built on it. I've spent the last couple of years in the Met organization, and we do fundamentals, but we don't do fundamentals the Minnesota Twins way. We do PFPs, TK went above and beyond. We did so many things fundamentally that by the time we got into the games and the situation arises, you knew what you had to do. And that wins so many games in its own way. And the shame of it is, of all the guys I've seen, everybody improved their defense except for me, for whatever reason. And I used to get so much crap from TK and those guys because I was one of those lefties that fell off the first base and I was kind of slow getting over there. It's so frustrating knowing you need to do something, but you couldn't do it at times. But, they always stick with you. They work with you. And I'll tell you, you play good fundamental baseball, and that's what was taught from the beginning with us. You're going to win a lot of ball games.
Out at second, Doman beats the relay to first. Runners now at first and third, 1 out for Parmalee. There's our carsoup.com /baseball question. Bill Lumpert from Plymouth wondering of Frank Viola. What's your favorite all-time TK moment?
Favorite TK moment? There's a lot of them. I guess the funniest one was, Mr. Blyleven here was involved in the middle of it. TK was talking in front of the crowd. Was it '88 after we won the World Series and we came back the following year or something? We had something on the field occasion. And TK was standing there, and Mr. Blyleven decides to crawl up behind him and tie his shoelace on fire.
Parmalee lifts it high and deep to the left field corner. Rottino is under it, makes the catch. Tagging is scoring is Willingham, and advancing to second is Doman. So Parmalee with a sacrifice fly drives in the first run of the game.
Yeah, Parmalee picking up his 15th RBI and his 9th since coming back, and Doman tagging up right here, and very close play. Now he got there in plenty of time, but almost overslid the bag, holding on to it and keeping that left hand on the bag. Go ahead, Frankie.
Nice heads-up baseball right there by Doman. Yeah, so anyway, TK's talking a serious discussion, and everybody behind him sees the shoelace starting to catch fire. And he handled it so professionally. He finished his speech, and that shoe was burning pretty good. But he didn't show any emotion. That's TK. He doesn't show any emotion until you get to know him. And then, picture Tom Kelly walking by his office, seeing his feet up on the desk with a stogie in his mouth. I'll go to my grave thinking about that every day, too. That was just a wonderful thing about Tom Kelly. He felt good. He knew he knew himself, and it was, you can't say anything more than that. When you know yourself, like, you're going to be successful.
You know what, Frank? There's a lot of fans that maybe weren't around in '87 and '91 that still get a chance to maybe come to spring training in Fort Myers. And Tom Kelly's always there. I mean, he's not only fun to watch, you know, when he gets at the big league level, but watch him when he goes to the minor league level. He will stop games. He'll walk out to center field, typical Tom Kelly, and say, young man, you have to turn this way, that way. I mean, he's a perfectionist. You know, he wants the game to be played the right way. And no matter if you're at the major league level or at the minor league level, he's a great teacher.
Yeah.
Teacher of the
and
game.
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. The thing I love more than anything, it's an old cliche, and everybody talks about, you know, it's one game at a time. But it truly worked with Tom Kelly. Hey, one game at a time. Don't look too, don't look back. Don't look too forward. Just take it right now and go with it. And it means a lot, and it meant a lot to all of us too, because we learned from that.
3-1 now to Plouffe. Florimon would hit next. When asked about your favorite TK moment, I was the first one that came to mind was something that must have been hard for him to do, and maybe harder for him to do it to you, and that is take you out after the 8th inning of Game 7. Now, we had in our pregame show a segment, an interview you did back in spring training, and you reflected on that and talked about, you know, how great Jeff Reardon was all year long.
No, and that's the way Tom did it from the start. You know, it ticks me off after the '91 watching how Jack Morris made it look so easy that he can say, hey, TK, I'm going back out there. I wish I had some more you-know-whats to be able to say that, but, you know, that's the way he did it all year.
Right.
But, you know, and we joke about it. I mean, this is 24, 25 years later, but we still talk about it. If I didn't see him running down to the bullpen in the 2nd inning to go warm up, I was like, I am not going to give Game 7 credit to this guy after everything that we've done as a team. And I appreciate that after all these years, giving me that opportunity to get through that inning and go from there. But, I mean, that's the way he did things. I mean, that year, Jeff Reardon was incredible. And you could not argue with success. And it worked. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 9th inning. And the only thing that was...
And it'll be good to see Jeff here tomorrow, too.
I can't wait to see him. But the only thing that's frustrating is you had a little time to rest and relax a little bit. It was trying to get those legs back going again and get into the pile after the 3rd out was made. It was like, at least if you were in the game, you were right there. But it was great. It was a great moment, and it was great for the whole area of Minnesota and surrounding area. It was incredible.
All Twin fans.
Absolutely.
Again, Tom Kelly having his number 10 retired tomorrow. The ceremony will begin, I think, a little before 6 o'clock. Game time will be about 6:30. Tickets are still available if you want to really share in some nice Twins history. Plouffe strikes out. The Twins take advantage of a couple of walks, score a run without a hit. And our thanks to Frank Viola for coming by on a very special weekend.
Great seeing you guys.
Yards, and tonight, Game 2 of that 4-game series. Russell Martin taking a pitch belt high over the middle of the plate, hammering it to left. Quick start for the Yankees and an early 7-0 lead. You look at the Subway sub prize on the line is the American League East with the Orioles and Yankees in a dead heat. Rays a little concerned about David Price's shoulder. He's been scratched from a start this week. And the Rays so good and so deep with their starting pitching, considered kind of a dark horse favorite, if you will, in the American League East. But they're going to need David Price if they're going to climb over two teams. Well, the Twins take a 1-0 lead as they try to climb out of the basement in the American League Central. There's a similar battle going on at Fenway Park between Toronto and Boston. Strike one and strike two to Jack Hanahan. Outside, and it's 1-2.
Oh, that pitch number 50 for Liam Hendricks. 27 in the first, 20 in the second.
Foul back. Still 1-2. Mentioned the Indians had just an awful August. July didn't finish very well for them. Then they went on month of August. They won 5 games and lost 24. The worst month in franchise history. Liner to center. Revere coming in, and he'll play it on a hop. And a leadoff single for Hanahan. Sanford Health injury report back to the Yankees, and their hopes of getting Mark Teixeira healthy, their hopes of getting Curtis Granderson healthy. They've got some guys who are a little dinged up for the final month.
Alex Rodriguez just coming back into the lineup. So even though the Yankees, the people say it's the best team money can buy, you need your horses out there, especially this time of the year.
Here's Shin-Soo Choo. The Indians have the only 2 hits in the game, even though the Twins have the only run. Choo singled, got as far as second base. Ball 1. Indians were in first place for 40 days this year. Now they're trying to stay out of last place. Might be another double play. Fumbled by Escobar. They get 1 but not 2. So Escobar couldn't handle it cleanly, but still got the lead runner at second.
Yeah, Escobar, very good defensive player. That ball kind of came up on him a little bit. He dropped it, so they did get the force out. So should have been a double play right here. Instead, they get the lead runner at second base for the first out. Choo at first base.
Now Jason Kipnis, who was called out on strikes. A pitch that appeared to be off the plate. High fly to deep right center. Chased by Parmalee. At the wall. Hangs on.
Saw a little ball there.
Saw a lot of ball. And he held on for out number 2.
Well, Parmalee had to go a long way for this ball, and he knew he was on the warning track. He knew he was getting close to that wall. And right against the wall. Watch Parmalee right here. Kind of leaped. He thought maybe he was a little bit closer than he actually was. Jumped up. The ball kind of hit the middle of his glove, went up, but able to keep it in the glove for the second out. Kipnis gave it a ride, but it's an out.
And now Asdrubal Cabrera. Choo at first in the first inning. After his single, he never once took off for second base until the count ran 3-2 to Cabrera. Cabrera ended up walking. And there he goes. Mauer's throw. Not in time. A stolen base for Shin-Soo Choo.
Yeah, you can look at catcher's numbers as far as throwing out base runners, but if they have run jumps like Chu did right here, you can have a cannon for an arm, which Joe Mauer does. You had no chance. That stolen base off of Liam Hendricks, and Chu does get in the scoring position with his 18th stolen base of the year.
One and 0 to Cabrera. Two and 0. Escobar gets this one and finishes the inning. Leadoff single does no damage. It's still 1-0 Twins. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. 1-0 Twins, even though they don't have a hit yet, took advantage of a couple of walks. Chris Parmelee sacrifice fly. Scoring Josh Willingham, who led off the second with a walk. And now in the third, Pedro Florimon will lead off. Yeah,
Gomez walked the first two batters in the second inning. Twins were able to get a run on the board.
And Florimon gets the first Twins hit, a sharp single to center. So Parmelee with his sacrifice fly, and Florimon here with the base hit, jump on the first pitch.
Well, a fastball. Go up there looking for something you can drive right back up the middle. Good at bat by Florimon.
So Florimon aboard. We've seen him run a little bit with Revere at the plate. We'll see how the Twins play this out. Florimon with the one steal in his only try. And Revere bunts it foul, one strike.
Gomez getting ahead in the count. 7 of the 10 batters he's faced so far. Been 5 stolen bases against him successfully in 6 attempts. Opponents have hit into 10 double plays when he's on the mound.
Outside, 1-1. Gomez making the start in place of Roberto Hernandez, who's missed a couple of starts in this spot on the rotation, injuring his ankle while backing up home plate.
You mean Fausto Carmona,
right,
Roberto Hernandez?
Kind of continues the odd season for a guy we used to know as Fausto Carmona. Identity fraud discovered in the Dominican Republic.
It's put on a Major League Baseball restricted list.
2-1 to Revere. Florimon goes and the pitch hit to left, a base hit. Florimon with a big turn, he'll hold up and gets back. So Florimon taking off and the shortstop Cabrera covering the bag. And Revere spanks a single to left.
Yeah, maybe a little hit and run put on by Ron Gardenhire and the Twins. The pitch away with Florimon taking off, and Ben Revere, watch Cabrera on the top of your right there, went to second base, left that hole open. The ball hit very sharply off the bat of Ben Revere.
Revere tried to bunt on the first pitch, fouled it away. One would think Escobar will be asked to bunt here with Mauer hitting behind him. Escobar lined out softly to Hanahan, his first time up. Corner infielders playing up.
And that's where you'd like to bunt the ball toward Hanahan at third base.
And Escobar takes ball one.
Escobar, of course, coming over in a Francisco Liriano trade.
For the type of player he is, all eyes will be on Escobar as he tries to drop down a bunt in this situation.
He has one sacrifice on the year, that coming when he was with the White Sox.
Taps it in front of the plate.
Good bunt.
And Santana throws him out. So good execution by Escobar, advancing Florimon and Revere.
You know, we had Rod Carew up here talking about bunting, where he said he kind of just always, like Ben Revere, trying to take the ball with him to bunt, where Escobar actually squares around the bunt and laid that ball down very nicely, got it out of the dirt area in front of home plate on the grass, squared around, deadened the ball right there. As Santana, the only one that could make the play, his play was to first base, so a nice bunt.
Mauer will be intentionally walked because the sacrifice was successful. And as nice as the bunt was, to me, it was nice to see him take a pitch. So many times we've seen some Twins bunters just bunt at the pitch regardless of where it's thrown. He took one low and then got one up a little bit and dropped down a good bunt. 2-0 as Mauer will receive the intentional walk.
Yeah, third walk of the ball game for Gomez. This one, an intentional walk. And that loads the bases for Josh Willingham, who already has tied a career high 98 RBIs on the season. Same 98 he had last year when he was with the Oakland A's. There's ball four.
Willingham, obviously his hamstring is healing and it's doing better, but the Twins wanting for at least another day have him in the designated hitter spot, and it just seems to me that across baseball more and more teams are saving the DH spot rather than having a roster position or a player like a David Ortiz to use that spot to give Willingham a few days. The Twins are a classic example. Morneau, Mauer, Doman. And rather than have one person as your primary DH, just kind of put it on a rotating basis.
Well, that really helps the manager. You know, like you mentioned, Willingham hurting a little bit, but he still can swing that bat, and that's what Twins want him to do right here. Knock in a couple runs. Get into that century mark for RBIs.
Well, he could do that in this at bat, couldn't he? Bases loaded. One out. The out that the Twins gave the Indians. Ball one. .50 pitches for Gomez. 25 balls, 25 strikes.
Gomez has given up 12 home runs.
Down the middle of strike.
This being his 15th start. 8 of the 12 have gone to left-handed hitters. Right-handers hitting .264 off of them.
Two and one. Willingham's walk, his 67th of the year. And then later he scored the first run of the game. On the outside corner.
A lot of inconsistent calls. Pretty good pitch right there.
Two and two to Willingham. Crack to right field. Toward the corner. It may empty the bases. Bauer will be held at third, and Willingham drives in a pair with a double.
And there you go, Josh Willingham, now with 100 RBIs in his career as a Twin. So a career high for Willingham. Nice piece of hitting, just taking it the other way. Comes the fourth Twin in Twins history with 30 home runs and 100 or more runs driven in.
That might be the only ball he's hit into the right field corner all year long. And so the Twins break through, coming into the inning without a hit. Now they've gotten an intentional walk, 3 hits, and at least 2 more runs. Ruben Niebla, the interim pitching coach, the guy they promoted from the minor leagues to fill in for Scott Radinsky. Twins got a leadoff walk. In fact, the first 2 men of the second inning walked. And they scored the first run without a hit, but now Floramone's first pitch single has set the stage for perhaps a big inning. Niebla, I guess the ideal guy, because like the Twins, the Indians have run up so many players from AAA to pitch up in the big leagues. Who better to coach them than the guy who's seen them both at the big league level and the minor league level?
Right.
Big spot here for Morneau. He drew a walk in the second inning. Chance to drive in a couple. That drifts outside, ball 1. Poke to right field. Chu has a great arm. There's the catch. Bauer tagging. Chu's throw to the plate not in time, and Morneau drives in a run with the Twins' second sacrifice fly. And on the play, Willingham goes to third. Subscribe to MLB.tv at a reduced price now, and you can see the remaining Twins out-of-market games live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Home territory blackout restrictions apply.
Yeah, Justin driving in his 69th run of the year with that sacrifice fly.
Bowman takes high.
The Twins take a 4-0 lead.
Indians activate their bullpen. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
All right.
David Huff warming up. Driven to center. Brantley makes the catch. Twins get 3 hits, 3 runs. The biggest hit, Josh Willingham's double that brought his season RBI total to the century mark. All-Pro shot. Twins with a 10-game homestand, then a 6-game homestand, and then we won't be looking at this beautiful ballpark for a while. Josh Willingham basking in the glow of a career-high number of runs batted in.
Yeah, good for Josh.
Maybe he'll have some votes for the Arby's value player of the game. You can vote. Text the word value, followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234. And if Liam Hendricks can handle this lead better than he did his lead in his last start, maybe he'll get some votes.
Well, you learn something every time you go out there. You know, he pitched that great ball game against Hernandez here, Felix Hernandez, and lost. You know, and then he gets 8 runs, and you're thinking sometimes as a young pitcher, and I know I went through this, you know, you get big run support like that, you start thinking ahead. Oh boy, this is going to be my first major league win. And then you go out there, you couldn't get out of the 4th inning.
Well, among other things, conspiring against him could be a high pitch count. He's misfired in his first 2 pitches here in the 4th.
And that's sometimes, Dick, where they say, you know, the game gets away from you sometimes, where you start rushing, you start thinking ahead rather than what you have to do now.
Santana's got about as much armor at the plate as he does behind it when he's catching. And he still found a bare spot. Ouch.
Let's take a look where it gets him right here. He has that pad on.
Ooh. On the foot.
As he kind of turned his foot, left still that area exposed. He ended up hitting it.
Honestly, the shin guard he wears catching isn't a whole lot bigger than that one, is it?
Just a little taller, that's all.
Now Hendricks now has thrown 61 pitches. And he's only recorded 9 outs. 3-1. Oh my goodness.
Again.
Don't tell me it hit him in the same spot. Oh, the instep or the arch. Full count.
I don't think he can protect that area any more than he already does.
Got him out in front of the pitch. Popped up near first base. Morneau with the catch, 1 away. And that'll bring up Brantley. This week in Fox Saturday Baseball, the playoff push continues. The Royals are in Chicago to take on, right now, the first place White Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by MasterCard, begins at 2:30 Central on Fox. It's tied at 2 now between the Royals and the White Sox. In the 5th inning, Royals batting. Orioles trying to come back on the Yankees at 7-4, top of the 8th. Morneau can't get it, and Brantley singles through the hole to right.
3rd hit for the Indians, first by Brantley. 1 out single.
AT&T trivia question. The opening game of this 4-game series. Who holds the major league record for home runs in a season by a switch hitting catcher? Probably somebody like Mickey Tettleton or somebody like that.
Ted Simmons.
Remember Simmons as being a 300 hitter, but not a whole lot of power. There's a drive to left.
Like that.
And gone, a home run. Kinsler's first major league home run after a walk in the 2nd. And he's cut the Twins' lead in half.
Yeah, Kinsler, just 26 years old, just getting called up by the Indians on September 1st. Had a good season down in AAA. Kinsler hitting a fastball. A little cutter, stayed middle in. A line drive home run. That's a 4-2 ball game.
And that'll bring up Casey Kochman. Bounced into a double play his first time up, and he takes strike one. Anderson, where'd the ball go? I want the ball. Roll to the right side. Morneau lets it go, and Escobar finds Hendricks at the bag. Maybe a good play by Morneau, even though he might have been able to field it, but I think he knew Escobar would have an easier throw than Morneau would to the pitcher.
Yeah, and you like that when your first basemen do this. Go get the ball right there. Now Escobar is probably yelling at him, I've got it, I've got it. And your responsibility of a pitcher is to get over there. You become the first baseman.
So 2 down, bases empty, and here's Vinny Rottino. Changeup. 73 miles per hour with a breaking pitch. Perhaps 1 strike.
Yeah, Rottino claimed off waivers from the Mets in June. Has some major league experience with the Brewers, the Marlins, and the Mets earlier this year.
Down and away, 1-1. Bouncer to short. Easy play for Florimone. Over to Morneau, and that ends the inning. A single and a home run. And the Indians are on the board at 4-2. Last September, hit for some power. What's impressive is he's used all 3 fields.
Yeah, in Kansas City, hit the ball that pitched away to left field, then hit one to right in Kansas City, and then we saw him in Chicago, a big 3-run home run to straightaway center.
And Parmalee drove in the first run with a sacrifice fly to left field. And Parmalee, I'm sure, would much rather have been here than where he was most of the summer. David Huff coming into the ball game to pitch to the Twins in the 4th. But Parmalee kept his nose to the grindstone, if you will, to use a cliche. Kept hitting for power. And now he's here, and he looks like someone who has improved as a hitter. And maybe the extra time in the minor leagues has something to do with that.
Well, again, you know, last year at Double-A, then got the September call-up this year. He was up 3 or 4 times. This is his 4th stint this season with the Twins. So, yeah, I think he's proven he can hit major league pitching. And now just, what's nice to see is last year, Dick, he got to play almost every game in September, hit .355. This year, getting an opportunity since his call-up to be in every ball game and producing.
He'll lead off here against left-hander David Huff. And a strike. Parmalee with 140 at bats. Actually hit left-handers better than right-handers so far this year. Swing and a miss, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Huff making his first appearance this year. You saw the numbers down in the minor leagues. He started the season on the disabled list with a hamstring strain, then sent to the minor leagues. This is his 4th season with the Indians.
Checked his swing. Strike 3, and Parmalee can run to first, but Santana's throw will beat him. So Parmalee strikes out to start the 4th inning. And that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe in the remaining 25 games, hoping that he can regain the power stroke he had from May into June.
He hit 11 home runs in the month of June, and then early July went on a disabled list, and he really has not been the same since his return.
It was after the high fastball, and swings and misses, 2 strikes. They want to go up high again. This time he checked his swing. Santana with that mitt, head high.
David Huff, 27 years old, #1 pick by the Indians back in 2006.
And a foul.
Good location of that breaking ball. Played his college ball out of UCLA, Southern California.
Side 2-2. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. Second time that Plouffe has struck out.
Hey, let's come up to the booth. We have Esther Lawson celebrating her 100th birthday here with us this evening, and happy birthday to you, young lady. And you're surrounded with your family. There's 5 generations here celebrating your birthday, so happy 100th to you.
I asked her if she had been to Target Field before. She said, yeah, last year we celebrated my 99th here. So you come back next year and celebrate your 100th first, okay? 2 down in the 4th. Here's Pedro Florimon. Now batting as a right-handed batter. He singled to start the 3-run 3rd. 2-0. Foul back. 25 games left starting tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if Florimon played in 24 of them. That's how seriously the Twins want to look at this man. And if you need any evidence of that's what their intentions are, bouncer to short. That's why Brian Dozier was not called up. No, it looked like the first baseman Kochman pulled his foot. Florimon can't believe it. With Cabrera kind of rainbowing his throw, Dale Scott called him out when it looked like he was safe. Well, tomorrow night, Tom Kelly will become the 7th Twin to have his jersey number retired in what should be a very special night. The weekend series against Cleveland is presented by the South Dakota Department of Tourism. Also with the inspiration about TK's famous line, grabbing it all, we're all in this boat together. The first 10,000 fans will get a mini oar with TK's number 10 on it. All 833 Twins, or log on to twinsbaseball.com for tickets. Twins leading here 4-2 as we go to the top of the 5th inning now.
Well, you know what? Last inning we had Esther up here that was celebrating her 100th birthday, and I don't know if Rick Aguilera has reached that yet, but if Rick Aguilera up here is our guest.
I got about half her age, so I'm not sure if I want to get to be that age. I'm not sure.
Well, Rick Aguilera, and we had Frank Viola, Tom Bernansky's coming in, a whole bunch of special Twins players coming here for tomorrow night when Tom's having his number 10 retired. And you came to the Twins organization from the Mets in the Viola trade.
Yep.
And what was your first impression of your new manager when you came here?
Well, you know, my very first impression was of the club was Puckett. Kind of interesting story. I was coming up into Yankee Stadium. The game was going on. Got there late, and I was standing in the runway, which is below kind of field level, and intimidated, nervous, meeting this new club and everything. And Puckett, I think, kind of grounded into a double play or something like that. He came down and tossed his helmet and comes down the stairs and looks at me and he's, "Hey, Aggie, this is Kirby Puckett, welcome to the Twins." So that nervousness, originally went away, and to think, "Wow, that's Kirby Puckett kind of welcoming you like that. This is pretty awesome." And so again, similar things also though with TK. Very evident. A guy that didn't ask too much of you. Just go play the game right, respect it, and we'll be okay. And that was my initiation. And when you get guys like that as your captains, your great players, it was a good example of how to go play the game.
You know what I liked about TK being a starter and you as a reliever, but he basically I knew what I needed to do. He didn't have to tell me. And I think both clubs, 87 and 91, were filled with guys that knew what they needed to do to go out and perform night after night.
And I would agree, Bert. And my, I got that, I shared before, that kind of that famous, not famous, but the phone call from TK, the spring training before the 1990 season, telling me that I was going to be the closer in 1990. And I wasn't sure if I'd be able to handle the role, be successful in the role, but TK showed faith and continued to encourage me through some tough times there in the early going of the 1990 season. But by that time in 91, we had a few pieces of the puzzle we needed to kind of do, and we got the right players. But TK kind of, at least with me, he kind of told me, try to go about a routine. Jeff Reardon kind of went about it like this. I'm not telling you what to do, but you might want to copy someone like that, obviously. And it helped, and that kind of, and that was basically it. He left me alone. I knew what he was expecting. I knew what he was going to ask me to do, and you go about your work. And then I think that was part of the success of how he managed.
Your retelling of the story of him calling you, telling you were the closer, actually, by some accounts, was longer than the actual phone call itself.
This is, yeah.
Hit against the wall. Hanahan will start the 5th inning with a double.
Now, it's true. In fact, I was just talking to Randy Bush upstairs here a little bit, and he had a similar conversation. He was, calling TK and congratulating him and all that kind of stuff, and they kind of just talked about some, things here and there. And he said, "Okay, I got to go, Bushy," and he hung the phone up. And I says, "Bushy, I've been there before. I understand just how you feel." Yeah, he I got that phone call, and you're going to be the closer, and you do what's best for this team. And he hung the phone up, and he didn't give me a chance to respond or anything. And my wife asked me, "What did TK want?" I says, "I think I'm going to be the closer for the Twins next year." That was it.
Leadoff double. Hendricks, of course, needs to complete the 5th inning to even qualify for his first major league win. And strike one to Shin-Soo Choo.
Now you're still living out in Southern California, so I mean, to come here and honor a guy like Tom Kelly, it's kind of once in a lifetime. As a player, you just want to thank him for what he brought to the ballpark every day to create 2 world championships, but also for him as a manager for 15+ seasons. Incredible.
Yeah, I totally agree, Bert. I just feel so blessed to be able to be invited to come and be a part of it. And I'm an emotional guy, and I get emotional talking about it. But I know that my career would have been nothing like it turned out to be. And I'm not trying to brag about anything, but just if it wasn't for TK and maybe his insight had seen the opportunity for me to be a closer, or the way I was handled as a closer, and just being a part of the organization is very dear to me.
He sensed something in you that you could do it, and that's the way that TK kind of was. I mean, there were certain guys I know in '87 that TK expected to fill certain roles, and they did because TK gave them that opportunity, and they accepted that role and took it to another level.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't believe he'd put somebody in a position to fail, right. And I think that maybe some of those things people would question in the very beginning, but he knew in his gut that this guy can do it. And as an athlete, we all know that when given that opportunity,
don't point at him.
But given that opportunity, and if you do have that fortitude, you're going to do it. And he had that knack of putting guys in the right spot, and you sometimes maybe the fans or somebody would question that, but they came through for him. I mean, maybe not all the time, but generally it did.
Well, maybe as a measure of your respect for him. I mean, you were traded from the Twins twice, but twice you re-signed with them as a free agent. I'm wondering whether Tom and his managerial style or your comfort level with him had anything to do with you re-signing. You actually had 3 different stints with the Twins.
Well, I can share a story. I actually went to St. Louis. They asked me to come out and want to talk about being a closer for them. And I met with Tony La Russa, who I respected a great deal. We had great competition back in those days. We were in the same conference, and Twins and Oakland have some great battles, and ran into him many years later after I went back to Minnesota. And he says, I knew in your gut when you were sitting there that you wanted to be back in Minnesota. And I did. And obviously part of it was TK. Part of it was just the comfort of the organization and being a part of the community. All those things together. But again, the opportunity to come back and play for TK was big.
They're going to wave the runner. Here's the throw, and it's way offline from Revere. And Hendricks is able to back it up. Just a weak little ground ball that split the infield. And it makes it a 4-3 game with nobody out.
Yeah, sometimes a ball has eyes, and exactly what happened here. Chu kind of looked like a check swing. He just kind of softly hit that ball back up the middle. Florimone could not get it. Now they're going to run on Ben Revere right here, and Hendricks has to be the backup player in this as the ball got past Joe Mauer. And Chu stayed at first base, but it's an RBI single for Chu, his 53rd RBI of the year.
Good to keep him to first base there.
And now Kipnis. Inside, ball 1. Well, Hendricks, consciously or not, counting the outs, and he needs 3 more, and he's having a tough time getting the first one here in the 5th. 87 pitches, and the lead, which was 4-0, is now 4-3.
I'm listening. I'm looking forward to the speech for TK tomorrow.
I am too, Brett. It's going to be interesting to see. Read a little article today. I mean, those that know TK, I think I'm not sure how comfortable he'll be in this kind of situation. It's obviously well deserved, but he would always kind of refer the attention to somebody else. He's not one to bring it upon himself. So, I remember just flying out here a couple of days ago and thinking, just kind of wondering how he's going to handle it. Is he emotional? Will he be stoic? It's going to be a great moment for those players that got a chance to play for him and to see him recognized like he deserves. And he's always been kind of the one that paid attention to the clubhouse kid or the guy opening the door or these kind of things. And I understand he's invited a lot of those kind of people back and several friends of his. So it's going to be a very special moment for him and those that he felt special in his part while he was here.
Throughout his managerial career, he won 1,140 games, but he always wanted the players to be front and center, to the point where twice, in each case in dramatic fashion, his team, the team he managed, won Game 7 of a World Series, and he stayed in the dugout.
Stayed on his pockets. He did. He didn't leave the dugout till some of the celebration was ending, and coming back off the field, and he was there to greet and hug guys as they came off the field. At least my experience in '91, and that kind of man and that kind of manager. I mean, obviously, a lot of our success was due to him and his skills as a manager, but also recognizing a lot of success was due to the players that were out there to get those games won.
2-1 now to Kipnis. Chu stole a base in the third inning. He stays put, and this one dumped over third, and a fair ball. Rounding second, going to third is Chu, and Kipnis goes into second with a busted bat double, and the tying run now 90 feet away.
Yeah, Kipnis kind of jammed himself right there, but just hit it over Plouffe. And you're hoping that ball goes foul, but it stayed fair. And Chu, with his speed, seeing that Domit, it's going to take a little while to get to this ball. And he hustles over to third as Kipnis picks up a double, his 18th double of the year.
Rick Anderson will come to the mound, and with 90 pitches thrown, the next 10 or 12 might be the most important ones of Liam Hendriks' career. He's trying to at least get out of this inning in a tie game. Rick Aguilera in 1990 got that phone call. He was going to be the closer for the Twins. 254 saves, and until late last year, he was the all-time saves leader in Twins history. There's one of the saves at the old Kingdome in Seattle.
Wow, I need a haircut there.
And so Rick in town with a lot of former players, former coaches. Dick Such is supposed to be in town here this weekend for the unveiling of the black cape or whatever, the cloth left field, where number 10 will be retired officially tomorrow.
So Kyle Waldrop warming up in the bullpen.
Cabrera with a walk and a ground ball to second. Tying run at third. Nobody out here in the fifth. Hopped up.
Nice.
And Escobar for the first out. So Cabrera gone, and gone on one pitch. Both key figures for Hendriks here, who's trying to get through the fifth.
Well, another good job by Rick Anderson going out there. Whatever he said, one pitch, one out.
Now Santana, who's 0 for 2, a fly to left and a pop up to Morneau.
Nice going, Andy.
Ready to go, Andy.
It will be Santana, and then barring a weird double play, Brantley, as Hendriks is in search of out number 14 and then out number 15. About because when you came to the Twins, you started some before you were given the job of a closer, and the decision Tom made when he gave you that phone call, did you have any sense that it was coming, that you were going to get the phone call to be the Twins closer?
I didn't. I mean, in hindsight, I guess I kind of maybe somewhat understand when I was being scouted in '88. I had elbow surgery, came back in '89. I lost my job to Dave Cohn. Was pitching long relief at the beginning of the season. Was pitching pretty well. Got some middle relief. Got some setup work. Actually got a few saves. And I think while I was being scouted, I was pitching in a setup man or closing role. Not necessarily closing, but Jesse Roscoe was there. But was getting some saves as a right-handed closing guy. So I think some of that maybe was feedback for TK that hey, he's been there, done some of that a little bit, not as the guy. And then I was actually excited to be back when I was traded here to have the opportunity to start again. And that didn't go great. It didn't go, it wasn't bad, wasn't great. And then I wasn't expecting a phone call by any means. No indication at the end of the season that year that it would be an opportunity until the phone call came.
Hendriks falling behind 3-0. First base is open. A breaking ball.
pitch. Or...
Well, I think 2 of them in this 3-0 count have been in the Fox Tracks strike zone. 3-0 with Brantley on deck. Chopped to first. Morneau comes home, and they get the run down now with Chu in the middle.
Yeah, run them all the way back.
And then tag everybody.
Except Plouffe.
So 2 down with Morneau throwing home to keep it a 4-3 ball game.
Yeah, Santana green lighted on the 3-0 pitch and just chopped it to Justin at first base. The middle of the infield is playing back, so they were going to concede the tying run. But Santana hitting it to Justin. He throws a strike to Mauer, and then Kipnis from second base already had moved over to third, so Chu is tagged out.
Now Brantley will be walked to get the rookie Kinsler to the plate. Brantley with a single and a run scored his last time up. So the bases are loaded now with 2 down. Kinsler has walked and hit a home run. And he provided on Coors Light cold hard blast.
Yeah, that coming last inning. Like a fastball that stayed inside, and Kinsler hitting his first major league home run.
And so Hendricks, with 99 pitches thrown, needing to get this out with the lead to possibly get his first major league win.
Good test here. It'll be a good battle.
Strike on the outside corner.
Hendricks again making his 12th start this season, his 16th major league start, 0-9 in his career. Looking for that first win, but you have to go 5 with the lead to qualify.
1-1. Royals have retaken the lead on the White Sox 5-3, going to the bottom of the 6th. And the Yankees beat Baltimore 8-5 to even that series and regain first place. 1-1 to Kinsler. Check swing, 2-1. We don't know whether if Hendricks ever gets that first major league win, whether the second, third, fourth, and so on will soon or quickly or easily follow. But until you get that first one, we'll never know.
It's often the hardest one.
Tapper up the line. It's going to stay fair and tie the game. So the game is tied at 4 and the bases are loaded again. Kinsler hit one about 400 feet for a home run his last time up. Now he hit that one 60 feet.
Yeah, kind of a swinging bunt right here, and you kind of hope that ball goes foul, but it stayed on the dirt and stayed fair. Plouffe really had no play whatsoever.
It didn't look like that ball was ever going to roll foul, did it?
Nope, it didn't look like it.
You'd think, well, if it hit the edge, but it hit the edge a couple times and actually rolled back on the grass. So now tied, and Kochman at the plate takes a strike at the knees. He can still win this game, even though the game is tied now, if he can get through this inning, and then the Twins regain the lead in the bottom of the inning.
Chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I just saw that movie on the road trip, too. All right. Which one you want to be, dumb or dumber?
I'm not sure if you want to admit that.
I'll be dumber. I'll be dumber. That's okay. I've been there before.
1-1 to Kochman. Bases full of Indians. 2-1. If he does not get his first major league win tonight, or for that matter in his last start when the Twins got him 8 early runs, won't be because the folks in the dugout.
I was just going to say that. They've given him every opportunity the last 2 starts to get that first major league win.
Earn that win, yep.
Kochman hooks it foul, 2-2. And I can guarantee you, if he gets out of this, if he gets off the field here in a 4-4 game, one of the first things said in the dugout, let's get him a run. Let's get him a run. Hendricks might be leading that chant himself.
Let's get me a run.
Give me a run.
With a couple pom-poms.
Never hurts to beg. But like you mentioned, he needs to get out of this situation first.
2-2 to Kochman. Couple of ground balls so far for the first baseman. Escobar throws to first. And the Indians get a couple, leave the bases full. It's a tie game. Rick Aguilera, thank you for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, now give me a win.
Well, I have $100 here in Minnesota State Lottery tickets, scratch-off tickets here. Bert, get a kick out of this one. We've got Blaine and Andrew here, and they say, Dutch girls love Bert. Circle us. And they're wearing their Dutch outfits just for you tonight, Bert. They said they were going to wear these outfits every single day until they got circled by you. And they have a picture of you from back in the day. And Blaine, you say that Bert Blyleven, when he was younger, what about him?
He is so hot. So hot.
Wow.
You were so hot back in the day.
Hot.
We do not know what has gone wrong since then.
Well, thank you very much, Dutch girls. You are hereby circled. You know what they say? Not Dutch or not much.
So back in the day, I'm just wondering when that day was, because I missed it.
Yesterday.
I missed it.
Yesterday.
It was an off day. I feel like I should be eating at the Pannkuchenhaus or something, having seen those young ladies. Here's Revere to left center field. And the first out of the 5th inning. Well, the Twins do need to score here in the 5th if they're going to get Hendricks his first major league win, under the assumption that he won't come out and pitch the 6th. AT&T trivia, Mickey Tettleton, Todd Hundley, forgot about him.
played with his dad, Randy Hundley. Does that qualify?
That's to center. And coming in is Brantley for a catch, out number 2.
Well, David Huff has come in and retired all 5 batters he's been asked to get so far.
Mauer was intentionally walked, and he'll come up here with the bases empty and be pitched to.
Yeah, Huff making his 50th appearance at the major league level. Now 48 of those have been starts. A guy that won 11 ball games back in 2009, but the last couple of years at the major league level has really struggled.
Strike on the outside corner. Through it all, he's gotten 5 outs. He's gotten ahead of Mauer. He's only thrown 17 pitches. Strike 2 as he buries a couple of upper 80s fastballs on the outside corner. Got him on 3 pitches. 2 very impressive innings for David Huff. And we head to the 6th in a tie game.
Twins game. Well, game 2 in pretty good shape weather-wise. Still enjoying high pressure here across the upper Midwest. It's looking clear, but still cool out there with our first pitch temperature at around 66 degrees toward Target Field.
Fans bringing blankets, sweatshirts, hooded sweatshirts.
Boy, beautiful the weather, isn't it?
I've been waiting.
Isn't it nice?
It's me, okay? I'm a Minnesota guy.
Right.
But I've been waiting for weather like this for 6 weeks.
Well, you know,
I love this weather.
As hot as the summer's been, even as a former player, Dick, this time of the year, you just feel strong again. It kind of gives you that 3rd or 4th wind that you're looking for throughout the year.
And as I've said many times before, if there's any man who knows his wind, it's you.
Well, Liam Hendricks, 5 innings. He gave up 4 runs in a 4-4 ball game. A no decision. Tyler Robertson coming into the ball game, making his 31st relief appearance.
Vinny Rottino will hit, leading off the 6th. Hey, before I forget, between innings here, you do a feature up on the scoreboard here that fans here at Target Field have enjoyed, little nuggets of baseball facts, your opinions about things, whatever. And the one tonight involved you're having your number retired last year, and I was not aware of this. When an organization retires your number, they don't do it just at the big league level. They do it throughout the whole organization.
Right. That's actually how I found out that my number was retired. I was It was during the Twins fantasy camp, and the clubhouse guy there was taking all the 28s.
And Robinson has to hurry, just barely.
Good play.
Getting Rotino.
Rotino running down that line very quickly, but he was taking all the 28s out of the minor league clubhouse lockers, and he told me, and I said, "What are you doing with all those?" And he kind of told me, and I had not found out officially that they were going to retire my number. That's kind of how I found out.
I guess it would make sense. I just never comprehended that it was an organization-wide thing. I mean, there's a reason no one in the minor leagues has ever worn number 3, since Harmon had the number 3 retired. So tomorrow, when Tom Kelly gets his number 10 retired, that'll be system-wide.
Yes.
Very nice.
It's a very nice honor.
Jack Hanahan with a single and a double in his return to Minnesota. Domit as it sliced back to him, out number 2. Fans, in conjunction with the retirement of Tom Kelly's number 10, the Twins are selling a complete set of bobbleheads featuring every manager in Twins history. The only place to get this limited edition set of bobbleheads is at twinsbaseball.com, and the sale began this morning. Only a few sets are left, and the cost is $210 per set. And proceeds from the sale benefiting the Twins Community Fund. And for more information, please visit twinsbaseball.com. I believe this to be true, and I meant to double check it today, and maybe I will during the inning break. We've talked about these sets, bobblehead sets, total of 12 from Cookie Lavagetto all the way through Ron Gardenhire, full-time appointed manager. I believe the Royals have had 15 managers since they last were in the playoffs, which is remarkable when you think, here 51 years, I guess, of Twins baseball, 52, check swing and a strike, and there have only been 12 men, and here since 1985 the Royals have run 15 guys through the managerial office. And I will double check that in the next inning break. 2-1 to Chu.
Tyler Robertson looking for that third out on just 9 pitches.
Tap foul.
Fouled off. Robertson has won his first major league game in Cleveland against the Indians back on August 7th. Twins won that ball game 7-5. He won that ball game in relief by pitching 2 shutout innings. Now they're going with 3 with a slider.
Tapper to second. Good inning for Robertson. On 10 pitches, he has a 1-2-3-6. Coors Light 6th inning in the Coors Light Freeze Can.
Parmalee going right to the wall, making a very nice catch. I think he thought he was a little bit closer to the wall than it was. Liam Hendricks says thank you very much.
And so in a tie game, Josh Willingham will try to get something done against David Huff. Came in the game in the fourth. At a 1-2-3 fourth, a 1-2-3 fifth. That was his 20th pitch, getting a swinging strike from Willingham. One and one.
Well, the Indians, I think, find themselves, Dick, the same place that the Twins have. They're looking for, good starters for next year also. So Huff, who has 48 major league saves, he's won 15 and lost 25 as a starter. Still getting that opportunity to maybe impress the Indians.
Flip to right field. Chu comes in, makes the catch, one away. That'll bring up Morneau. Time now for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch. And a combined 8 innings thrown by the two starters.
Yeah, Jinmar Gomez worked only 3 innings. And Liam Hendricks, 5 innings.
And now Morneau takes ball one. He'll be followed by Doman. And now short fly ball to left. Hanahan and Cabrera giving way to Rotino, and it's out number 2. And that will bring up Doman with the bases empty. Fox Sports North supports cancer awareness. Join Marnie Gellner, Lisa Dunsing, and Alicia Perkins for the Light the Night Walk at Target Field, Sunday, September 23rd, benefiting the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. You can join the team for a chance to lead the walk with Rod Carew. Visit foxsportsnorth.com, click on supports under the More tab to sign up for or donate to the Fox Sports North team. 1-0 to Doman, who reached in the second and flown out to center in the third. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. 2-0. Strike over the inside corner. 2-1.
Well, David Huff throwing strikes, 27 pitches, 19 strikes.
3-1. Popped up, back and out of play. 3-2. Here are the Kansas City managers since 1985 very quickly. Dick Hauser, Mike Ferraro, Billy Gardner, John Wathan, Bob Schaefer, Hal McRae, Bob Boone, Tony Muser, John Miserock, Tony Pena, Bob Schaefer again, Buddy Bell, Trey Hillman, and Ned Yost. High fastball. Doman strikes out. And Huff has a perfect middle 3 innings against the Twins. game. The Twins getting the first 4 runs, the Indians the next 4.
Yeah, Josh Willingham with a 2-run double now with 100 RBIs on the year. Twins took an early 4-0 lead, but the Indians came back with 2 in the 4th and 2 in the bottom of the 5th. We have a swinging bunt right there, tied the game at 4 apiece.
And so the Twins in a tie game now. Tyler Robertson starting his 2nd inning of work, facing Jason Kipnis as Drupal Cabrera and Carlos Santana. And to the backstop, 2-0. We've seen Robertson very often brought in to face 1 or 2 batters, and now he's being asked to pitch 1 or 2 innings.
Yeah, his longest outing of the year was when he got his first major league win on August 7th against the Indians. Trying to repeat that. Hopefully a 1-2-3 inning. Twins get him a run or 2.
Three and 0 to the leadoff man here in the 7th. And he missed inside a leadoff walk. So Robertson breezed through the 6th, 1-2-3, but now a leadoff walk in the 7th.
Got Kipnis at first base. Keep an eye on him. He leads the Indians with 26 stolen bases.
It's a part of his game that the Indians weren't aware of. He never stole many bases in the minor leagues at all, and has come up here and been a threat. Here's Cabrera. A walk, a ground ball, and a pop-up. Has yet to get a ball out of the infield. There, strike 1.
Yeah, Cabrera now hitting as a right-handed hitter, where he's hitting .292. 4 of his 14 home runs as a right-handed hitter.
Going to foul, 2 strikes. Cabrera not only popped out in his last at bat, but he popped out on the first pitch. That was the inning where the Indians started with a double, got a single, got another double. And the tying run at 3rd, nobody out, and Cabrera chipped a little pop fly to Escobar.
Well, he tried to bunt right there. He saw Plouffe staying, where he's playing, be a deep 3rd. He tried to lay that ball down that 3rd baseline, but fouled it off.
Missed the inside corner, 1-2.
Tried to go with another slider down and in and missed.
White Sox took Frankie Liriano off the hook, scored a couple of runs for him in the bottom of the 5th. It's 5-5 in the 7th now. Liriano charged with 5 earned runs in 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 walks. 2-2 to Cabrera. They've got him picked off. Mornow's throw not handled by Florimon.
Looked like a good throw right there by Justin with Florimon. Like it hit off his glove. So Kipnis taking off on first movement. Robertson throwing it over to Justin. Justin stepping on the infield side. And then the throw mishandled by Florimon.
So an error will be charged to Florimon. And a runner at 2nd, and now Robertson really trying to bear down and strike out Cabrera. Missed again with a slider, and it's a full count. So Cabrera's laid off that pitch 3 times in a row. Count was 0-2. Santana on deck. missed with the fastball. And now first and second with nobody out. So a pair of walks to start the 7th inning.
As you mentioned, he missed with the sliders inside, goes fastball inside. Pretty good pitch. So back-to-back walks for Tyler Robertson.
So Robertson with a switch hitter Santana up and 2 men aboard. Ron Gardenhire is going to come out and make a change. Alex Burnett will come in with a couple of inherited runners and nobody out. Finishing his warm-up tosses, we can tell you that the Vikings are just 2 days from the start of their 2012 season. And they had their last day of practice today before facing Jacksonville. Read Brian Hall's coverage of the team from Winter Park at foxsportsnorth.com.
Yeah, go Vikings. Alex Burnett coming into the ball game trying to get out of this man on first and second, nobody out situation for Burnett. His 59th relief appearance.
Santana 0 for 3, a fly ball, a pop up. He reached on a fielder's choice. He hit the one hopper to Morneau, and Morneau came home to get the tying run that was trying to score. Down low, ball 1. Twins have had 2 double play grounders hit. They've only turned 1 double play, but they had a second one hit that they didn't turn when Escobar didn't field the ball cleanly. Fouled away. 1-1.
Burnett has struck out 27 in 61 1/3 innings. So he would like to get a ground ball here, not really a strikeout pitcher. Alex, 25 years old, in his 3rd season with the Twins.
To Morneau, fields the second hop, force at second, relay to first, not in time. So Morneau backpedaled to make the fielding play on that second hop, and then the long throw to second, the return throw not in time.
Yeah, this ball hit sharply right here, so Justin has to play the second hop and, you know, get that ball over. He goes in and gets that short hop. That's a dangerous play. So get the out, and then the relay. Alex Burnett becoming the first baseman, and Santana staying out of the double play.
First and third, 1 down, and here's Michael Brantley. Twins will play for a ground ball double play here. Brantley was intentionally walked his last time up, and he takes up and away, ball 1. Angels have an early 1-0 lead over the Tigers. 1-0, bottom of the first. On the outside corner, 1-1.
You know, you mentioned earlier, Dick, with Grady Sizemore really out the last couple of years. Brantley getting an opportunity to play, hit .266 last year. This year having even a better year, hitting at .285 coming into the ball game.
Two and one. And now 3-1. Second base is open.
And now you get into that fastball situation by missing on that 2-1 pitch. Brantley, who was hit into 6 double plays, I'm sure is looking fastball here. Now
3-1.
Yep. Hoping it's a ground ball.
And it is past Escobar. Kipnis will score, and the Indians take their first lead at 5-4.
Brantley picking up his second hit, picking up his 58th RBI of the year. And the Indians take a 5-4 lead. So he got the ground ball just to the left of Escobar in the right field.
Put it in a good spot, down and away. So 5 unanswered runs for Cleveland. Run, of course, charged to Tyler Robertson, although it would be an unearned run because of the error charge to Florimon. Inside, ball 1. Kanzler with a walk, a home run, his first major league home run, then a little dribbler up the line that stayed fair and tied the game at 4. Breaking ball over for a strike.
Kanzler, 26 years old, signed by the Cubs in 2004. He came up last year, a September call-up for the Tampa Bay Rays. Appeared in only 3 games. He went 1 for 3.
Swing and a miss. Late on a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Florimon knocks it down. That's all he'll have is a knockdown. No play as he tried to field it in the hole. The bases are loaded.
Kanzler will get an infield base hit as Florimon going to his right. Well, Kanzler picks up his 3rd hit of the ball game. Hit .266 with some power in AAA.
Been a tough inning for Florimon. And now Kochman with a chance to bust the game open. The bases are loaded. He came up in the 5th inning in a tie game with the bases loaded and 2 out and bounced out to Escobar. Now strike 1. Santana's already worked his way to 3rd base. Brantley at 2nd. Kanzler at 1st. There's a nubber. And off the glove of Burnett. Nobody fields the ball.
Well, I think Burnett was trying to get the ball and then throw to Joe Mauer at home plate and hit right off of his glove.
Twins have not caught the ball at all here in this inning, and it's cost them at least 2 runs.
They'll give Kochman an infield base hit, but this is a ball that Alex Burnett pass. See right there, he was thinking about throwing home.
How is that not an error?
That has to be an error right there. I said it was an infield hit because Justin also was going after that ball. Nobody was covering first. But that's a lot of times you either throw home or you catch that ball and you'll beat Kochman to first base.
You got a force play at home.
Right.
Doesn't need to be a tag. 1-0 now to Cord Phelps, who's hitting for Vinny Rottino. 2 walks, a couple of scratch hits, some misplays in the field. And now 2-0 to Phelps.
Yeah, not a pretty inning for the Twins. Phelps in just his second game this season with the Indians, 0 for 3 so far. He has struck out once.
No place to put him, and it's 3-0. So now Bradley's all the way up to third. Kanzler's at second. Kochman at first. And a strike. 3-1. Brantley's single, the only one that really was hit with any authority, and that one had eyes. It had been hit a little bit to the left, might have been an inning-ending double play. And a ball for third, walk of the inning. 3 runs have scored. And the 7th has been a disastrous inning for the Twins. Bases are still loaded, and Burnett will be relieved here by manager Ron Gardenhire. A pitching change in the 7th with the Indians up by 3. Did not have a good outing.
No, you don't want to shake anybody's hand. You're upset at what you just did. Alex Burnett showing some emotion.
Kyle Waldrop, who was warming up in the 5th inning, comes in now here with the game hanging in the balance. Twins already down by 3. The bases are loaded. Still only 1 out.
Now Waldrop making his 10th appearance on the season in his 2nd stint with the Twins. Recalled for the 2nd time on August 24th.
There's Gene Glenn on the right. He had Waldrop on his roster for most of the year. Twins first-year AAA manager, got the Red Wings back to 500. Here's Hanahan. He's gotten a couple of hits. Twins will play at the infield at double play depth. Morneau playing a step or so in front of the bag at first. back to Waldrop. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 3 runs for the Indians. They've got a 7-4 lead.
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. Get a freshly brewed cup of premium roast coffee from McDonald's. Any size is just $1. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Tyler Robertson, Alex Burnett, they must have thrown 50 pitches between them to get 1 out, and then Waldrop comes in on the first pitch, and he gets 2 out.
You know what? First pitch swinging right here, right back at Waldrop. Nice little flip over to Joe Mauer to get the force out at home. And then your job's done as a pitcher. Joe kicking that bat, get out of the way. So a little 1-2-3 double play gets the Twins out of the 7th inning. But 3 runs scored. Twins down by 3.
Haven't done anything against David Huff, and he delivers strike 1. One of the reasons they've not done well against him is he's gotten ahead of everybody. He's faced 9 men. Parmalee is his 10th. He's only thrown 31 pitches. Now fly to center. It'll chase Brantley back a few steps. 10 up, 10 down for David Huff.
David Huff, who spent most of the season, almost all of the season down at AAA, started on a disabled list, but here tonight, coming out of that bullpen, he's done a great job. 10 up, 10 down, 3 strikeouts so far. Excuse me, 4.
Well, Maniaca wanted Huff to face the left-hander Parmalee, and now he'll make a change with 1 out in the 7th, and the Indians up by 3. Joe Smith, not that that's his real name.
Yeah, right.
He's going to be the next pitcher for Cleveland. Twins will help you get ready for the upcoming cooler weather. First 10,000 fans at the game will get the Twins bomber hat pictured right there, presented by Pepsi. Order your tickets for next Friday's game or any other game left in the schedule. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com.
Well, his actual name is Joe Smith, and he's coming out of the bullpen, making his 60th relief appearance. Smith in his 4th season with the Indians. Came up with the Mets in 2007. Underarm delivery of Joe Smith.
Strike one to Plouffe. Missing the inside corner.
Unusual delivery. Basically a fastball and that sweeping breaking ball. Smith, 28 years old.
Lifted foul, it'll reach the seats. Twins haven't had a base runner since Willingham's 2-run double in the 3rd.
Well, you can thank David Huff for that. Jamar Gomez started the ball game. He worked the first 3 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned. But then David Huff, 10 up, 10 down.
Full count to Plouffe. Florimone will follow. Dribbled foul. Twins scored a run in the 2nd without a hit. They only have 3 hits. The Indians have 11. And all 3 of their hits came in that 3rd inning. Florimone singled sharply to center. Ben Revere single. An intentional walk later. Now Plouffe gains first with a walk. Well, that's probably not what Manny Acta had in mind in making a pitching change either.
Well, for Smith, that's his 23rd walk, his 21st unintentional. In 55 1/3 innings pitched.
Now Florimone and then Revere. Probably the Twins are going to win this game. Probably important that the Twins come back with a run here in the 7th. Haven't done anything offensively. They've all but given the Indians 3 runs in the top half of this inning. Two and 0. And here comes Ruben Niebla. Tampa Bay in 11 innings beat Texas 3-1.
Ismael Rogers starting to loosen up.
It's about the only thing that's gone right for the Indians since the All-Star break is Ismael Rogers and what he's done since he came over from Colorado. 2-0. Not close. 3-0. Hit the corner.
Fastball away.
And now 3-2. Home plate umpiring, the ball strike calling throughout this game has been ridiculously bad. Runner goes, and Florimone, no choice but to swing at something close to the plate. That's got to be so frustrating for a pitcher when you hit the plate and it's called a ball, you hit the strike zone, and for a hit or two, I mean, you're up there with a 3-2 count, 2 strikes on you. Got to swing at anything close because of the inconsistency.
What we have seen strikes being called that are off the plate, and then balls that are on the plate not being called. So yeah, it goes both ways.
Florimone hit it out of Santana's mitt. Pitch looked like it was up and out of the strike zone. Twins need Florimone on base. See if they can get something going, rolling the lineup over with Revere in the on-deck circle. Runner goes, base hit to right. Plouffe will round second and hold up there. Perhaps with any other right fielder, Plouffe would have taken off for third, but Chu, who was actually signed as a pitcher, has got a very good arm, and down by 3 runs, it would be foolish to try for third base.
Well, he also, as a base runner, kind of see where the outfielders are. This ball hit pretty sharply right here. You know that you see Chu right there, how the way he attacked that ball that Plouffe knew with his arm, and the way that he went about his business right there, being very aggressive on getting to that ball, he could not advance to third.
Revere takes a breaker for a strike.
Florimone picking up his second hit for the Twins, and only their 4th of the ball game. Revere with 1 of the 4 hits, that coming in the 3rd inning.
There's a number up the line. And Revere retired, and a nice fielding play by Smith. 2 runners move up into scoring possession for a key at bat now from Escobar.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great play right there by Smith. He doesn't go over there with his glove. He just barehands it and quickly gets it over to Kochman for the second out. Kind of a swinging bunt right here. Now watch the way he attacks that ball. Barehands it, flips it to Kochman for the second out.
Now Escobar, and a hit to the outfield should make it a 1-run ball game. Escobar's already driven in more runs as a Twin than he did with the White Sox. 4 runs batted in a handful of games with the Twins, just 3 earlier this year with the White Sox. Outside, 1-1. Revere hustling down the line, might have tweaked something. Hamstring. I think he said, "I'm all right." Swing and a miss, 1-2. Escobar dropped down a sacrifice that forced the Indians, didn't force them, but they chose to intentionally walk Bauer. And a called third strike. Escobar called out on strikes. The Twins strand a couple in scoring position, and the Indians lead by 3. Nothing lead. Indians might set things up for their closer, Chris Perez, who made some more news.
Yes, he did.
Being very critical of the Indians ownership and management. And you can read the quote, but he singled out Josh Willingham as a player the Indians were interested in during the offseason. But unlike the Twins, they would not guarantee 3 years.
Yeah, and we heard this earlier during the summer when the Indians started to falter a little bit, that Chris Perez said, you know what, I mean, Josh Willingham, he would have fit very nicely in our uniform, but he blames the ownership for not giving him that 3rd year.
I don't know Chris Perez. I think he's a great relief pitcher. But so far this year, he's attacked the Cleveland fans, the Cleveland owner now, and the Cleveland management. It sounds suspiciously like someone who might want to be talking his way out of Cleveland. Off the glove of Plouffe, and it'll be an opening hit here in the 8th for Shin-Soo Choo.
Choo picking up his 3rd hit. What we saw in that Chicago series, Trevor Plouffe just having a tough time knocking down some balls, where he did right there, but just not playing the 3rd base, I think, that the Twins are looking for right now.
Well, after an inning like the 7th, where the Twins simply didn't catch the ball and gave the Indians 3 runs, now the 8th starts with a well-hit ball off the glove of Plouffe. It's a hit, the 12th Cleveland hit, and there's strike 1 from Waldrop. Chopper to short, taking nothing for granted. Twins will get 1. Kipnis runs well, and Twins get the force play at second base. So 1 down. That brings up Asdrubal Cabrera.
Well, you make sure of 1 right there, and Escobar, realizing who was running, had no chance.
Cabrera's walked twice, bounced to second, and popped up to second. Foul away. Runner goes. Lauer doesn't throw. Looked like he lost the grip trying to get it out of the glove.
Well, we saw earlier in the ballgame Choo stealing a base basically on the pitcher, that being Hendricks, and right there Kipnis had a great jump. Even though Joe Mauer could not throw to second. Watch Kipnis take off right there. And for Kipnis, his 27th stolen base of the year.
Blocked by Mauer. 2-1. And now off the plate, 3-1. By the bullpen have been hard to come by. Actually, the last couple innings, Liam Hendricks found them hard to come by.
Now, Waldrop has shown very good control. Only 3 walks in 11+ innings pitched.
And a walk. 3rd walk issued to Asdrubal Cabrera. So 1 out. Runners at first and second.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. Well, Rick Anderson out to talk to Kyle Waldrop. We'll get a ground ball right here, get the Twins back on the bench.
batter will be Santana. He reached in a fielder's choice. Casey Fiend warming up.
Tonight's attendance 30,111.
At the knees, a strike.
That's where you get ground balls. Keep that pitch right there. There goes a double play.
And both runners move up. Kipnis to third and Cabrera to second.
Waldrop charged with a wild pitch, his first of the year. Now we're trying to deaden that ball, but the ball deflects to his right. So both runners advance.
That forces the Twins to bring the infield in now. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Just missing the inside corner. Looked very similar to the pitch that struck out Escobar.
Yeah, even though Santana got out of the way, that's a good pitch.
There just have been too many pitches like that, and that's been bad for both teams. I'm not claiming bias or anything, but this has just been an awful strike zone tonight.
It really has. I know they get graded after a ball game, and hopefully they use the same Fox tracks that we have been showing here. We're just told they do.
Morneau steps on the bag and no runners can advance. So out number 2.
The second time that Santana has a chance to drive in a couple runs, and second time he's hit a ground ball to Justin. So a big out right there for the Twins.
Go. Now Brantley and Waldrop, for the time being at least, holding 2 runners in scoring position.
For the second time, Brantley's going to be intentionally walked in this ball game.
They keep pitching around Brantley to get to Kinsler, and Kinsler keeps getting the hits. He's 3 for 3 with a walk, including a home run.
And he's driven in 3 runs. 2 of them coming off that home run in the 4th inning. His first major league home run.
And it might be that Waldrop will get the intentional walk, and then perhaps a pitching change will bring Fiend into the ball game. Fresh arm. And they're going to let Waldrop try to pitch out of this.
This is the time of the year you want to see, how a relief pitcher, especially like Kyle Waldrop, handles situations like this. So he kind of put himself into this situation, see if he can work out of it.
Bases loaded, 2 out. And right down the middle of strike. And this time at 90. It's ahead of him 0-2. Waldrop got the last 2 outs of the 7th on 1 pitch. Not trying to strand 3 of his own runners here. Got it. So Waldrop, left out there to pitch out of a jam, does just that. And the lead remains 3.
Here at Target Field, they had a 4-0 lead. Now they find themselves down 7-4. And on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, we'll talk about the one bright spot, and that is Josh Willingham, with 2 more runs batted in tonight, reaches the century mark. Just the 17th different Twin to hit it. Ron Gardhire, and talk about the Twins defense tonight. You don't want to miss what he's going to have to say tonight. We're going to bring you his post-game press conference and the big instructional tonight. Pitching mechanics, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, with Burt Blyleven, who had a pretty decent curveball himself. We'll go through those. Live on the field is a great instructional for young kids and young baseball players out there looking to learn the fundamentals of pitching. And speaking of fundamentals of pitching, we have a new one out there for the Indians, Dick. It's Vinny Pastano.
And fundamentally, he's been pretty good for the Indians this year.
Yes, he has. Pastano coming in, making his 60th relief appearance. A very good 1.96 earned run average. Only 40 hits allowed in 59 2/3 innings. He has walked 21, but he has struck out 66.
Strike at the knees to Mauer. Mauer was intentionally walked in the 3rd when the Twins got their last 3 runs. He has a pair of strikeouts bookending that walk, so he's yet to put a ball in play. One and one. When the Indians were going good, Pastano was a big part of it, setting up Chris Perez. And the Indians were at the time getting good enough starting pitching to where if they had a lead after 7, it was pretty much a done deal.
Lights out.
Pastano took care of the 8th, Perez the 9th. A little flare into short center. Cabrera won't get there. And it cost Mauer a bat, but he gets a hit leading off the 8th.
Yeah, Shaw fought off that fastball that was running in on him and just fought it off and hit it softly in the center. Twins get their 5th hit of the ball game.
And now Willingham. A walk and a run scored in the 2nd, a 2-run double in the 3rd. And a fly ball to right in the 6th. Breaking ball over, strike 1.
Pastano's done a good job at keeping the ball in the ballpark. Only 3 home runs allowed in his first 59 relief appearances.
Popped up. It's back and out of play. 2 strikes. Two strikes to Josh Willingham. Lace to the left field corner. Mauer round second. Willingham goes to second. Mauer being waved in. Willingham has driven in his 101st run with his second double of the ball game.
Yeah, Pastano ahead in the count. He threw him a hanging breaking ball. And Willingham did what he should have, and they pulled that ball right down the left field line. Watch that pitch right there, just kind of hang, and Josh hitting it sharply down the left field line.
As a pitcher, were you a believer that hitters could set you up sometimes, looking for a certain pitch later in the at-bat?
There were certain hitters, yes. Yes, I was a believer.
Because I wonder whether that isn't what we just saw with Willingham. We'll talk about that in a second. First, identify Morneau as the hitter. Morneau with a sacrifice fly in the third. He represents the tying run. Popped up left side on the very first pitch. Hanahan for the out. That'll bring up Doman. Here's what Willingham saw on the first pitch, and then what he did the next time he saw the same pitch. He took that one.
Yeah, but see where that one started right there. That was just a hanger. I don't know if that was a setup. That's just a bad pitch by the pitcher.
Well, here's Doman, and now Doman represents the tying run. The Indians put the infield shift on for Doman. Nearly hit him. Ball 1. No activity in the Cleveland pen. This has been good months, bad months. This has been a strength for the Indians.
I think over the years, Dick, when I faced certain hitters, there were ones that, you'd throw a curveball maybe and they'd back away and then you'd throw it again and boy, they're right over it. Cliff Johnson comes to my mind right away of a guy that would really look bad on a certain pitch. Then you would try it again and boy, he'd just hammer it somewhere.
One and one to Doman. Popped up. Only man on the left side of the infield is Hanahan. 2 down. And now Parmalee will come to the plate representing the tying run. Parmalee with a sacrifice fly in the second.
Take it you remember Cliff Johnson.
I remember Cliff Johnson. A strikeout in the fourth and a fly ball to center in the seventh. Pulled foul, might have cracked his bat. Parmalee's going to keep the one he's got. 1 strike. Twins need a big fly here. They haven't hit a home run yet in the ball game. Parmalee with 3 of them on the road trip. So yeah, that's a call.
I like it.
A pitch up, fouled it back, 2 strikes. Willingham delivered the double. He's been at second base for the last 2 outs.
And that on an 0-2 pitch. Pastano ahead in the count 0-2 on Parmalee.
Under his arms, 1-2.
2-2. Two and two to Chris Parmalee. Another pitch up, fouled straight back.
Good swing right there by Parmalee.
Well, the pitches are up and in to Parmalee for the most part. Another 2-2. And now a full count. First base open and Trevor Plouffe on deck.
He tried the backdoor slider right there and missed low.
To center. Coming in is Brantley to end the inning. A single and a double. The Twins get one back in the 8th. Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain weekend weather update for Twins territory. The Indians in front, even though the Twins had a 4-0 lead early on. Liam Hendricks wasn't able to hold that 4-run lead. Got through 5 innings. An ugly 7th. The Twins got one back in the 8th.
Well, Glenn Perkins coming into the ball game. He'd like to get an inning here. Perkins last pitched in Kansas City last Saturday in game 1 and 2 when he picked up his 9th and 10th save on the season.
And strike one to Casey Kochman. We have a extra outfielder, a rover out there in the outfield for the Twins in left center.
A little varmint.
Chopper to second. Easy play for Escobar. Kochman retired, one away. So Perkins, who hasn't had nearly the number of save opportunities anyone would like, won't have one here. He's just going to try to keep the game a 2-run game.
Yeah, you can see the numbers on Perkins at 10 saves. All his saves, all 10 of them, have come on the road. So he'd like to get an opportunity here at home to save a ball game.
Twins came into this homestand with the worst home record in the major leagues. I cannot for the life of me figure that out. Had great fan support.
Yeah, another good crowd here tonight of just over 30,000.
See, under the circumstances, that's an extraordinary crowd.
Yes, sure is.
Fans, you've done your part, and the Twins appreciate your support.
And hopefully a lot of them will come tomorrow night with Tom Kelly's number being retired.
The closest I can remember something like this happening in Tom's career is when the Twins honored him after he picked up his 1,000th win. And he had a very brief message to the fans, something to the extent that this is all about the players now. I'm going to shut up so we can start the game.
Yeah, you know what? It's, Tom Kelly, he knows the importance also what fans bring to a ballpark. Perkins making the play for the second out.
2 quick outs. Hanahan will come to the plate.
Yeah, Twins 25-40 here at Target Field this year. That's not good.
And one gopher will try to retire the other. That is not a gopher we saw in left center field. Different type of creature. See, the first year here we had kestrels and squirrels. Haven't had much in the way of wildlife this year. Line foul. Oh, hope Will McMackin's okay down there. That was a hotter smash than the first one. You know, you have an embarrassing play like that. We had one of our fantasy campers down the line there. It looks like he's left. And you want another
Bobby
chance.
wants to go get some ice.
You want to have another chance. You know, you want another. And that one was hit 3 times harder than the first one. 2-1. Perkins to Hanahan. And Perkins with a 2-2 count. Are you an expert at vermin?
No. I have no idea what that is.
A vole, maybe?
Pretty quick.
3-2. All I can tell that whatever that creature is, you better move off the grass before Larry DeVito and his mowers come along. And a little number to the right side. Escobar gloves it, underhands it to Morneau. A 1-2-3 top of the 9th. inning comeback here against the Indians because Cleveland has a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, Russ Kanzler hitting his first major league career home run, 3 for 4 in a ball game. But our Jimmy John's delivery of the game goes to left-handed reliever David Huff. 3 1/3 innings, retired all 10 batters he faced. Going to put a stop to the Twins' potential offense with 4 strikeouts, no walks.
Well, Chris Perez, who had an interesting off day yesterday, quotes from I think the night before where he was very critical of the Cleveland ownership and management, and compared the Indians not very favorably with the likes of Detroit and even Minnesota. Coming in for the 53rd time, he'll face Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah, save situation. Perez 4th in the American League with his 34 saves.
One and 0. Called strike. Earlier this year, Perez got into some hot water because he was critical of Cleveland fans, not the ones who came to the ballpark, the ones who didn't, saying that the Indians were in first place. They're drawing 15, 18, 20,000 per game. And the Cleveland fans eventually moved on and started coming to the ballpark, which of course was Perez's complaint all along. But now this is another matter here. Fouled back when you're being critical of the guy who's writing your checks. 1-2.
Well, Perez an all-star for the Indians the last 2 years.
This is wide, 2-2. Plouffe, Florimone, and Revere. And then the Twins hope 2 or 3 others. It's a foul ball. And out of play. Plouffe with 2 strikeouts and a walk. And full count.
Well, Perez with that hard slider, the breaking ball, good sinker.
Hit a long way foul. Well, it's good to see Plouffe put the barrel of the bat on it.
Perez has allowed 4 home runs, 11 walks, 56 strikeouts in 49 innings pitched. We should get another fastball here. I'm going to walk that leadoff hitter.
And this one popped down the right field line, a long run for Chu. And they look at each other. That ball's going to land, bobbled by Chu. And Trevor Plouffe has a pop fly double down the line. Neither Chu nor Kipnis could get there, and each spent about as much time looking at each other as the ball itself.
That's a long way for Kipnis to go. I thought Chu had this all the way. Popped it straight up, and Chu right there kind of looking at Kipnis, and Kipnis gave way to Chu. And the ball fell in. So.
It was in the air a long time. And now Plouffe's aboard with a leadoff double. Casilla is running for Plouffe, and Florimone will hit. Twins had essentially this situation in the 8th after Willingham's double, but Willingham never moved. Florimone squares to bunt, takes a ball. He's got a couple of hits. Lining hits into the outfield. Hit right to the shortstop. It's an out. Casilla will advance. And the Indians put a little bit of a shift on for Florimon, and it paid off.
Yeah, he hit the ball sharply right back up the middle, but it was Cabrera who was shading him a bit up the middle that made the play.
Ben Revere 1 for 4. With Casilla at third. And a critical at bat for the Twins as they hope to come back here. If Revere reaches with a hit, not only would Casilla score, but then you have a base stealing threat, presumably at first base.
Yep.
He can steal second either during the Escobar at bat or hopefully the Mauer at bat. And you're in position to tie the game if Mauer can come up with a man in scoring position. Fouled away, 1-1. Is it just me, or are we seeing Ben Revere do an awful lot of what he just did there? Fouling over the third base dugout.
Yeah, and he's hitting too many pop-ups right now. Some fly balls to the outfield. That's what we saw on that road trip. And that's why that averaged underneath 300 now.
And another one fouled over the third base dugout. 1-2. Matt Carson on deck.
Santana sitting inside.
Chop to the left side. A run will come in. Hanahan sets and fires, and now the Twins are down to their last out. They get Casilla in to make it a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, Revere picks up the RBI, his 29th of the year, but the Twins were looking for him to get on base, like you mentioned, Dick.
Well, first game at U.S. Cellular Field, and the White Sox still can't beat the Royals. Lorenzo Cain hit 2 home runs, including a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th. Francisco Liriano, 5 earned runs, 5 innings pitched. So the White Sox lead right now a half game. And the Tigers and Angels are in the 6th, tied at 2 in Anaheim. Matt Carson trying to keep the game alive. He takes strike 1.
Carson as a pinch hitter, 0 for 1.
Oh, and 2. Perez was snarly after giving up a run on a pop fly double. Now in the dirt, blocked by Santana, 1 and 2. One and 2 to Matt Carson. And struck him out. And the Indians break their hex. The Twins have held over them by picking up a 7-6 win. Kevin Gork, the Twins hoping to win this series. Now they got to win the next 3.
Yeah, they had a 4-0 lead. We'll break it all down on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. Burt Blyleven will take you through the pitching mechanics needed to be successful on the mound. We'll hear from Ron Gardner. We'll preview Tom Kelly Day tomorrow at the ballpark. Indians win 7-6.